Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. Well, guess what? That little Facebook outage / glitch couldn't stop us. It tried to, but it didn't. This be your boy, the HOC, and this is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Yes, I go by the name of Eddy Cool, the head of creative here at the Sports Bros Podcast. It is episode number 126. Yes, 126.
Woo!
Yes, and people be like, damn, man, how do you do 126 episodes? Well, I come up with the content. I go over it with the bros during the week. I hit the record button. I edit it. And I've done this 120 plus times. So, yeah, we're here. Exactly. The Sports Bros Podcast. Well, let me go ahead and stop my incoherent rambling and welcome everybody here once again to the Sports Bros Podcast. To everyone listening to us, we greatly appreciate it now more than ever. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, subscribe. Say you like pork chops and chunky. Say the money man Scottie D should be the assistant athletic director at his high school. Give B Live another raise. Anything to get the numbers up. Algorithms, check us out. See, I'm trying to put on for my boys. It ain't all about me. It's about the team. With that being said, I'm ready to introduce two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? We survived the great Zuckerland outage 2021 hashtag is out there. Let's get it. Let's go. But there's even bigger breaking news other than the $6+ billion that Zuckerberg just lost in 6 hours. Oof. Even more breaking than that, I heard while we were off the air just before we came on that the assistant athletic director of Trinity High School, the Hillers, our very own money man, Scottie D, has taken an interest in the world sport of football, aka soccer, when he reported that his girls' soccer team, 3 minutes, 3 goals, hat trick already. They're already up 4-0. Scottie D, do you have a report moving even further with that? Because man, I'm telling you, this is breaking news. We need to change the whole setup of this podcast for you to feature your girls' soccer team from Trinity High School in Washington, Pennsylvania. Man, please give us an update. My bad. You know what? I got ahead of myself. Yeah, Eddy Cool. I got so excited. Just go ahead and introduce the other guy.
The pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, the assistant athletic director himself, the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Woo! I am feeling extra good today. Boys.
Was that Louis Armstrong? Was that?
That was me. Just
don't do that again. I get it. You feeling yourself?
I'm feeling really, really good today. Really good. Because I'm a football fan. NFL Sunday is a big.
You're a girls soccer fan. You're a football fan. I like it. Yes, I like the way you said that.
The beautiful game. It is the beautiful game.
The world sport of football.
The beautiful game. Yes. But
he admitted it on the air.
Let's talk some NFC East football. That's what everybody in the world wants to talk about today, anyways.
No, they really don't. But they did, because here we go once again. The Cowboys are feeling themselves. But I'm gonna say this.
I hadn't even thought about that game.
For those that are listening via podcast, you're not getting to see him lie to us to our face, because on video He has everything Dallas on right now. 2 weeks ago, you didn't see all of this. But now, today, he's got his chest out. He is peacocking. And no, I'm not advertising that channel. He has literally got his chest out, feeling himself. He's got his, I think he washed that shirt and ironed it just for this podcast. I got my Panther shirt on. I got plenty of it. I'm still gonna wear it because I'm still proud of my team.
I didn't even think about that. You know, it was this day in a long. It was that time up in the cycle. It's laundry cycle time. It just came up next. So
yeah. Of
anyway,
course it is.
I understand, B-Lab, that you want to talk about the Patriots and Buccaneers from Sunday night. Did I hear that correct?
Eddie Cool, you know what? I'm gonna let you Amtrak this thing before I cuss him out. Because he getting on my nerves already. We ain't even 10 minutes into this show. And he's just pushing
to myself.
And with a bad Louis Armstrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode. Another segment we got called the fastest furious 5 minutes in all of sports podcast. Anyway,
just, you know what makes this even worse is that I had to deal with some of the worst karaoke singing this weekend.
Ooh.
And this past Saturday, and now he comes with that. Yeah, yes, I am a karaoke DJ Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, via the Sand Trap. Karaoke at the Trap, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Your boy DJ be like, bam, 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 bam. I do what I do. All right, shameless plug.
I'm also looking for another gig as well, too, a third gig. So if you want somebody to tell some good lies and bad jokes and make people smile and make them spend a little bit of money, come holler at your boy, okay? The email address is never mind. All right, moving right into the top of the order, ladies and gentlemen. Week 4 of the NFL football season. Yes, it's been 4 weeks in. We've been waiting. And the season seems to be flying by pretty fast. Well, not pretty fast, but you get what I mean. It's treading. It's treading. It's giving us something to look forward to. The past few weeks, we've been asking questions about what you like, what you didn't like, surprises and everything. But in typical classroom fashion, after 4 weeks, what did we learn, Scottie D, 4 weeks into the NFL season?
A couple things I'd like to throw out there. And this is not to dig at you guys, but honestly, I was surprised and that Dak Prescott is back playing as well as he is, coming off that horrific injury. And considering I was a critic of his last year, I didn't think he was that good. So I learned he's fully back, healed from the injury, playing well. I learned that I think that I'm pretty sure the Cardinals are legit. They are better than I was expecting them to be. I had no idea that they would go into the Rams' house and handily defeat them the way they did this past Sunday. Because as you guys know, I'm big on the Rams this year. I love their defense. I love their coach. I love them getting Matthew Stafford. And to me, all signs point to them being the division winner. And right when they had a chance to really take control, that was Sean McVay's first loss to that team. I think he was 8-0 against them prior to that game. And that was not the time I was expecting that. The Cardinals look good. Kyler Murray is developing into a fine quarterback, into a MVP candidate. And I learned that I think that Justin Herbert could be a star. I mean, he quicker than we thought he was going to be. He looks legit already. And as far as the Super Bowl teams from last year, they look beatable. All this talk preseason about Tampa being an undefeated team. They have one loss and very nearly another one on Sunday night. They were a clanked field goal away from losing that game. And Kansas City has looked very vulnerable with 2 losses already. They have not looked smooth. They, like I said last week, they're the team that looks like they have the Super Bowl hangover. That's what I've learned so far in this short, what would be a quarter of a season if we didn't add the 17th game, but 4 games in. That's what I learned. How about you, B-Live?
You know what? I like that. I like the way you analyze that. There's a lot to put together with this football season, and we'd already just like, man, it's gonna be the Bucks versus the Chiefs all over again. It is what it is. And you're absolutely right. I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way. Panthers Cowboys. That was a pivotal game to me and to the Cowboys faithful out there. I'm gonna say this real quick about the Cowboys. They are who we thought they were. If you want to crown their ass, they crown their ass. They are who we thought. You know what? We let them off the hook. We do. Here's the thing. For Carolina to be the number one defense in the nation, in the NFL, I have never seen Mack truck size holes like I saw for two of the best running backs. That running back tandem that Dallas has, feed them. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. This is unbiased. Good Lord. That offensive line just move. I mean, parting the Red Sea holes that whew. And that just opens up the playbook. I don't understand why Dak throws the ball 50, 60 times. He should really only throw the ball 25, 30 times a game. Feed them. Feed them. Feed them. Feed them. Feed them. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question though, B about Carolina though. Do you think maybe the defensive thing was blown up with them because they faced Zach Wilson in his first ever game. They faced a quarterback who I don't even know who he is for the Texans, and Jameis on a bad day. Do you think maybe we got a little too excited about Carolina's defense too soon? Maybe gave them a little bit more hype than should be? No. I'm gonna say this: J.C. Horn being hurt, that was a little bit of a liability, sure. And we hadn't faced a rushing attack like we literally. The reason why we led the league in defense is because our defense averaged 43 yards rushing in the first 3 games. Yeah, we didn't face somebody that could run the ball the way Dallas could, and then we started shooting ourselves in our own foot in the third quarter. We were toe to toe with Dallas. That was a fumble. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna divulge into. We've talked about it ad nauseum. That was a fumble. 13 points. Okay, Eli, bring it back. I don't know if it was or not. I couldn't see from the other side of the field, but go ahead. I couldn't see from my vantage point. I was on the other side of the field.
He's poking the bear. He's doing this on purpose. You got to.
He had forward progress. He the play is over. You can't fumble after the play is over. I mean, that's one of the NFL rules.
Poking the bear.
He is trying. So he's trying to be real bad. I'm good. What also I swear to God, what I've also learned is that there's so much football to go. There's so much to dissect and analyze. Guess who's back that we wrote off? We didn't really write them off, but guess who's back? The Buffalo Bills. Did we write them off after week 1 after they got beaten in a sloppy game against
I wouldn't
Pittsburgh?
say we wrote them off. I just said I thought they just looked flat and unprepared in week 1, and they haven't looked that way since.
I believe when it come to the Bills losing week 1, we had some concerns.
How do you say some concerns?
We had some concerns.
That really concerns.
Yeah, we had some concerns. We was like, now how are they going to play down to the Steelers, and then the Steelers they can't run the ball. They got all kind of issues, but the past 2 weeks the Bills have been just putting that thing on everybody.
I'm just saying that all they've done is by the tune of 118-21.
Yeah,
that's how much they've outscored their teams the last 118-21. They've outscored their opponents by 97 points in 3 weeks.
They're like the Panthers of the NFL.
Oh my sweet mother!
They are. They're like They're like the Pitt Panthers of the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to the B Live top.
Offensively prolific, but
I'm not Eddie Cool. I'm not doing this today.
I know. Hey, and
I'm not doing this.
Eddie Cool, what did you learn? What did you learn in the first quarter of the season?
You better.
We'll get to the B Live top 5 shortly, okay? All right, so here we go. Now, so what did I learn after 4 weeks in the NFL? I learned that Arizona has, as of yesterday, as a Sunday, by going into Los Angeles and beating the Rams at home, they've officially put the NFL on notice. Like, hey, we in here. All right, talk about us. We talk about teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to teams in the NFC, you're talking about Tampa Bay, and from the looks of it, you're going to have to talk about Green Bay. You're going to have to talk about Dallas, and now you're going to have to talk about the Cardinals. Like, as far as the top 4 teams in all of the NFC, because I really like what I saw with the Cardinals. I mean, they got a ground attack. They got a running game. I mean, and James Conner, he's in a whole lot better situation than he would have been in Pittsburgh because he got 2, he vultured 2 goal line touchdowns yesterday. And then how about A.J. Green looking like A.J. Green back in Cincinnati? He got a 41-yard touchdown pass, and Kyler Murray just put the ball right there for him.
A lot of weapons.
Yeah, and you got a lot of weapons, and then you got DeAndre Hopkins. And at one point, I even forgot Larry Fitzgerald was retired, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And also their defense is pretty stout and stellar as well, too. Also, Zeke is back. Zeke is back. Even though he had like 900 yards last year, rushing, Zeke was kind of non-factor-ish, if you will. It was a very rough season for the Cowboys, but Zeke is back, man. And these past 2 games, Zeke's heating up and Zeke's eating. And then, he got Tony Pollard. Dallas has a balanced rushing attack, as B-Live said. And so, Zeke is back, and pay attention. Also with the Cowboys, from the looks of it, no DeMarcus Lawrence, no problem with Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons on the defensive side of the ball. So, to also go along with Vander Esch and Jalen Smith, I think the Cowboys defensively are really starting to round into form.
They're starting to, but if you really think about it, they outplayed Carolina in 1 quarter on Sunday. Defensively, they beat Dallas up pretty much for 3 out of 4 quarters. We had the big explosion with a couple picks and sacks there in the 3rd quarter, but that's still the Cowboys' problem, I think, and that they're defensively not there yet. They're definitely better, but they're not. Yeah, they're not getting off the field on 3rd down enough. But you're right, Eddie. Cool. To your point, that the defense is definitely improved over what we saw last year from them.
It is definitely improved, and don't look now, but
Carolina gonna punch you in the mouth too.
Yeah,
that was a fumble. That was a fumble.
All right. Also, I don't know if
it was a fumble.
That too.
We might run it back in January.
I sure hope so. So nobody's talking about it, but how about them Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah,
3-1 atop of the NFC North Division. Joe Burrow looking good. I think now we're seeing Joe Burrow is what we could have seen prior to his injury. And I think, as you said, Scottie D and B-Live, I think Pittsburgh is middling and they're on the decline. They just can't. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I mean, last week I saw a video of Ben Roethlisberger throwing a football and falling to the ground. There was nobody around him. I know I'm going to get executed by the Steelers fans, but at this point, it is what it is.
They executed it. You see the product on the field?
Yeah.
Shoot, please bring it on. I'll talk. Man. Let me put it this way. All right, I'm gonna say this. The Steelers are definitely a shell of their former selves. Ben Roethlisberger is old. They should have been. They got to do something. He's old and fat. He's meat right now. I think we're the same age. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying it is what it is. I'm not convinced about Cincinnati, just like everybody wasn't convinced about my Panthers when they were 3-0 or 3-1. They weren't convinced. We lost to Dallas. Not convinced. Their wins are against Minnesota, the Steelers, and they had to come back against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And
you're right, but you're right.
And they lost to the Chicago Bears.
Ooh.
Yeah. You got to give me a statement win before I start.
They're trending the right direction though, but let's
see what they do next week against as you said before, Green Bay. Let's see what they do against Green Bay.
Oh, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to lose.
So that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's why I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man. I'm just saying, after that week 1 fluke, he was like, all right, you know what? Hey, yeah, I say, hey, RELAX. So, I mean, and on top of that, their running back, Joe Mixon, is day-to-day. Because the way I know that is because my fantasy team in one league that I play in, everybody's injured. I mean, literally everybody. It doesn't even make any sense how many people are injured in this league. And I paid $180 to get into this league. I can't get my money back, please.
Woo! You sound like you're about to cry, but yeah.
I've been dead last in points the past couple of weeks in this league because I'm just injuries. What my boy name? Chark, DJ Chark for Jacksonville.
Broke his foot or something.
Number 1 wide receiver out for the season. So he got me 0 points. The goose egg. I got 0.3 points from Myles Gaskin, supposed to be the number 1 running back for Miami. I don't know who they are. It's a hot, just ridiculously hot mess right now. I don't even want to, Eddie Cool. This is your segment.
Yep. I just took over. And speaking of the Vikings, I thought the Vikings would have been a little bit better, but I agree. I don't know what the hell's going on in Minnesota. Something in Minnesota seems off.
Yeah.
Something in Minnesota seems off. But fellas, that's what we learned after 4 weeks of regular season football. Let's go ahead and move on to week 5, shall we? Money Man Scottie D, what game are you looking forward to next week?
You mentioned the Bills, and this is going to be a big tester for them because they're going to play the Chiefs. They're at Kansas City this coming week. Now I know that Kansas City got smacked in the mouth last week against the Chargers, and they rebounded against Philly this week. But I still am of the belief that as the season goes on, the Chiefs are going to emerge as the top dog in the AFC. But my mind could be changed if Buffalo goes in there and beats them. This is who knocked them off last year. The Bills made it to the AFC Championship last year, 1 game away from returning to the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs stood in the way. So this is going to be a really big game, I think. I think of all the games of the week, this is one that really is going to be like a measuring stick of the elite team of the AFC. There's a couple others I'm going to pass to you guys. Maybe you'll pick up on some of the ones the other ones I was looking at, but that was the one I wanted to throw out there. That's actually one of the ones I'm really looking forward to watching this week. How about you, B-Live?
Well, a little bit of that is determined by what's happening right now in a few minutes, because you've got the Raiders against the Chargers tonight. That's already a huge game that is yet to happen. So that has a lot of implications on what my game next week is going to be. But I'm going to go ahead and put it out there because I believe that the Chargers beat the Raiders and leave the Cardinals as the only undefeated team in all of the NFL, which I think I may have mentioned that at the beginning of the season when we were doing preseason picks. I might have said something about the Cardinals. But the game that I'm excited about, my game of the week, is the Cleveland Browns versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Both of those teams right now have something to prove. The Browns may be getting some notoriety and being talked about in a lot of circles, but the Chargers have not. There's a little bit of chatter that Justin Herbert is that dude, and he's going to be top tier and among the elite of quarterbacks. But it still really hasn't come to fruition yet. But they are talented enough. They are skilled enough on both sides of the ball to be that team that could emerge as the next top contender in the AFC. So this game week 5 between the Browns and the Chargers could be momentous for both teams. Whoever comes out with that victory has a sure front run for that number 1 seed in the AFC. I think either one of those teams are capable of being one of the best teams in the AFC, but it's loaded over there. Buffalo is just red hot right now. But, I mean, who's to say? There's a lot of football yet to be played. So week 5, I'm going to be looking at the Browns versus the Chargers. So
I like it. I was looking at too. Yep.
Eddie Cool, what say you?
B Live, that's my 1B, but I'm gonna have to go with Scottie D, man. The Chiefs and the Bills, big time, major, ginormous implications in that game because that could determine playoff seeding. If somebody wins or somebody loses, somebody could be playing a game on the road or somebody could be at home chilling. So yeah, I think Buffalo is, they're on fire. They're starting to find their groove. And Kansas City, after getting beat by the Chargers, as you said a week before, they really start to. You got two teams I think that are really starting to hit their stride early in the season, which is very, very important that you hit that stride early in the season because you want to go ahead and get all this mess and all this foo-foo out the way now. Get it out your system now, get it out the way. So that way, when the real games come, like this one, like the Bills and the Chiefs, when they play each other, it has a lot more meaning behind it, as opposed to, them playing, I don't know, the Colts or something like that. Yeah. Now, something like that. Nothing, no disrespect to the Colts fan, but boy, y'all got a situation down there. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I'm also with B Live, but the other game is the Browns and the Chargers. The Brownies go out west. They take their first trip to SoFi Stadium, and it's going to be a very interesting matchup to see because I was watching the games between the Vikings and the Browns yesterday. Their defense ain't no joke.
Yeah,
that Browns defense ain't no joke. You got Clowney on one side, you got Garrett on the other. The secondary, that's another one of those good defenses. Like I said, Scottie D, they starting to round in the form. They got Grant Delpit back. They got Greedy Williams back. Denzel Ward doing what he does, and they got a linebacker whose name I can't pronounce for nothing. He's a rookie, and he was all, I think, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. If I butchered it, yeah, that's it. Yes,
yeah, that was.
I'm giving you
credit. Good. That sounded good.
Credit for that, yeah.
That sounded good.
Not for me.
Yeah, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I will not say the third time because I'm gonna butcher the name. And the last two parts of the name, I don't know if I got together or not, but that's either here nor there. He's flying around all over the place. I just need Baker just to get it together. That's the wild card, Baker to get it together, and for him not to force the ball to Odell.
Do you think they win that game? I say no.
Probably that they're not going to win it. It's going to be close, but I don't think the Browns will win that one. The Browns won't pull it out because the Chargers are just uber talented, and they got to deal with Keenan Allen, the rushing attack, and then that defense is just it's a whole lot going on in the city of Angels.
How about the Chiefs and Bills? Are you liking that one?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with the home team on this one.
I agree.
I'm gonna have to go with the home team on this one. I mean, Buffalo looks good. Buffalo is hot, but I'm gonna have to go with the home team on this because Arrowhead, Loud, Patrick Mahomes, and the array of talent he has around him, and they make it do what it doing. It's just it's just,
sometimes a team like the Chiefs, I think they need a really good team to come in and refocus them, and I think that we might see the best version of the Chiefs. I mean, that's what I would expect from a team who's been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, that you get the biggest challenge coming into the season and your focus is going to be, better in this game than in any of the other prior games leading up. They've, like I said, they've already stumbled a couple of times. Yeah. And, I think the Thursday night game is going to be a hot one too. The Rams are at Seattle, and the Rams on a short week coming off of a big loss like that. We'll see not only how they respond, but we talked earlier before the season started that we thought that was the best division in football. And already San Francisco seems to be falling by the wayside a little bit. Garoppolo's hurt. They're going to be having a rookie quarterback play. They're coming off of a loss. Seattle's looked a little bit shaky so far. We'll see if they establish themselves now as still contending in that division, or if the Rams, get right against Seattle and look like the team that we thought they were a couple weeks ago. So that's another very interesting one. And also the Cowboys game. They're playing the Giants. That's another one that we should circle real big.
No. Stop.
We know what's going to happen. In the words of Steve Harvey, with his Titanic big in the Kings of Comedy. Hell, we know what's going to happen. Bring on the water.
Bring on the water.
We know what's going to happen.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now for you, Scottie D. I'm going to go ahead and say it for you. You're going to go 14-3 this year.
Wow.
You're going to go 14-3 because I'm looking at the rest of you play the rest of your division twice. That's almost a guaranteed 6 victories. You beat up on my boys. That's 7. I mean, yes, you're going to go 14-3, and you're going to find a way to screw it up in the postseason. And I'm just going to be the happiest person known to man because you know what?
You don't mean that.
Yes, I do. I very much mean that.
You don't mean that.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because
so in other words,
the Cowboys look like one of the most balanced teams in the league. Their defense is actually coming around to it. They have a balanced offensive attack. They have the talent to be the top team in the NFL, but they will find a way. I know they will find a way. They're going to find a way to screw it up, and I'm going to be the second happiest person on the face of the earth. You know who's going to be the happiest? Big
Stephen
Kenny.
A. Smith.
Big Kenny is going to be the happiest. I think Big Kenny is a bigger hater of the Cowboys than Stephen A. Smith.
Why would you wish that misery upon me? Clemson wins and I'm with you.
I have enough reasons just today to wish that misery on you. What the hell you're not?
When Clemson loses, I cry with you. I cry your tears with you.
Shut the hell up.
I
Shut up.
I even say we.
Eddie, cool.
When we talk about our team, our Clemson Tigers.
Oh my God!
Because I love you so much that when Clemson loses, I feel your pain, and you're not reciprocating. Anyway, back to the show, Eddie Cool. You need to think about your actions here, Be Live. Eddie Cool, back to you.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to follow up. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's been it for week 4 of the NFL. We learned that some teams are for real.
I'm going to need therapy. I'm going to need therapy after this show. Because I've never heard so much double talk in my life.
You should talk to a pastor.
Who are you, Scottie D?
You should talk to a pastor. That's what you should talk to.
There's no who is we. There's no who is we anymore. It's who are you? Who made you this way?
I'm going to give you a phone number to my pastor, and you can talk to him.
Oh, yeah, like I'm going to trust the person that gives you spiritual advice with all this message you spew on the air. Who are you? You're such a different person off the air. I don't even know you anymore.
Maybe
God bless you, sir.
Maybe you do need therapy. And you need God.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I put this show back off the track because this is the first segment, it is already clearly off the rails. Yeah. Coming up next, college football and the return of the Be Live Top 5 coming at you. Ladies and gentlemen, you enjoyed it so much last week. We had to run it back, as the kids say, for another edition of the Be Live Top 5. That's right, the Be Live Top 5, where he talks about college football in his eyes, not the voters, not anybody else, the way Be Live sees it in the world of college football. With that being said, Be Live, tell us what you got.
Welcome back to another rendition of Be Live's Top 5. And I made a mistake last week. I tried it. I tried to give the Pac-12 some love. And what do they do to me? Stanford is saying, you know what? Screw everybody west of the Rocky Mountains. Because they derailed Southern Cal, and now they took down Oregon in spectacular fashion. An untimed down, no time remaining, score a touchdown to tie it, and then score a touchdown in overtime to beat Oregon. Yep. The Pac-12 is going to need a lot of love. So, with that being said, there's been a little switch up in my top 5 this week. And I'm going to start off at number 5, the one team on the outside looking into the playoffs. Top 5. Number 5 is going to be Iowa, the Hawkeyes. Iowa is number 5. A lot of polls had them at number 3. I just still think it's still going to come down to who wins the Big Ten. The Big Ten is loaded this year. There's a lot going on in the Big Ten.
Yep.
There are 4 teams that are tied. How's the divisions? I should have had it in front of me, but I know that Iowa sits along in their division for in the lead, but Penn State, Michigan State, and Ohio D, they're all sitting at 2-0 in the Big Ten to vie to go to the Big Ten championship. So the Big Ten champion will make it in. Right now, I say Penn State is the best team in that conference, but that can change. Iowa is the second best. And that's why I have Iowa looking in, because it is what it is when you're looking at everything else. And I'll explain a little bit more further on. Number 4, this is the year. Group of 5. This is the year. After that definitive win against Notre Dame, I'm putting Cincinnati in the playoff. I'm putting Cincinnati there. It's got to happen. Regardless of what they've got to be put in there. They control their own destiny at this point in time. I think if Cincinnati wins out, they are in. They set themselves up to be there. They have to be in. I'm putting them in number 4. They win, they are in. Number 3, as I mentioned before, I said Penn State is the best team in the Big Ten. They win that conference. I have them at number 3 right now. I still think they have the most balanced attack in the Big Ten. And y'all know what 2 and 1 are. Not what you think, because I set it up last week this way. Number 2 is Alabama.
Oh.
I moved Alabama from number 4 to number 2. They handled their business against Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They did what they were supposed to do. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. But they are still not the best team in the country just because of what this team did this past week. The number 1 team is Georgia, and it's not even close at this point. Arkansas was red hot. Woo pig suey. Red hot. And Georgia just said, who are you? Do you not know who we are? And blanked them. Number 8 team in the country blanked them 37-0. I'm going to say this real quick. Since Georgia put the whooping on Clemson, Clemson ain't been the same. And now they beat Arkansas 37-0. That rushing attack, that defense, their defense has allowed 4.3 points a game. 4.3 points a game. Are you kidding me?
So
and guess who?
So a field goal,
a field goal and a field goal and a safety. They ain't allowing touchdowns in Georgia.
Oh man!
And what makes it even crazier is their schedule going out. They go to Auburn this coming weekend. Auburn, I think they're just ranked because of name and conference alone. I don't see them as a threat.
No.
Then they have Kentucky. Kentucky is surprising people now. They are 5-0.
Yeah,
but it's Kentucky. And then you've got that. Then you've got that greatest cocktail party, Georgia versus Florida. That's going to be the kicker.
Oh, Florida lost this week, did they not? Didn't Florida just drop a game this weekend?
Yep, they lost to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kentucky. That's who they beat.
So yeah, yep. And so those are the next 3 games right here. But then after that, they've got Mizzou, Tennessee, Charleston Southern, and Georgia Tech. Georgia easily can go 12-0 and in convincing fashion.
They should. They would. I think they do it.
The East is over with. The SEC East is over with. It's over with. It's over with. No one else stands a chance. The East is already won. Yeah, I said it.
So, B-Lab, obviously, next week your rankings are going to change because we got Iowa hosting Penn State this weekend. It seems like Penn State has a huge game every week this season so far, doesn't it? Doesn't seem like they're lined up against a really like a very. It's like every week is an important game for Penn State.
That's what I was alluding to before, is that 4 teams are tied
right
in that division at 2-0, and those 4 teams are all ranked in the top 20.
Yeah.
And so
do you think Penn State's going to go to Iowa and win that game? That's a 4:00 game on Saturday afternoon.
That's why I ranked them ahead of Iowa. I think they're the most talented team. I think Penn State.
I mean, that's fair, but I'm just saying, but that you're ranking them based on what they've done, though, not on what they're going to do. I mean, you could still think they could go and Iowa could pull that one off, and I think very much that they could do that.
And one thing I do want to make a very valid point of this right here. This year it happens. The Big 12, the Pac-12, and the ACC do not get a playoff team in.
They should add more teams. They should add more teams so they can.
No. It's clear as day that neither one of those conferences deserve to have anybody in.
What about Coastal?
Coastal, the thing about it is, unfortunately, Coastal is the second best team in the group of 5. Right now, it's Cincinnati is not close. Cincinnati has that statement win against Notre Dame. If Coastal had a game like that, they should be in. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it. As it sits right now, and it should sit this way, after the Big Ten beats up on each other, and they will, Coastal makes the top 8. And they would make an 18 playoff. 12 is too many. I still say it. Because guess what? Just like how I've been doing it every single week, there's playoff games within playoff games to thin the herd. You don't need 12 games after all of this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? No, how?
Yeah. I think that you give somebody else the opportunity to play into the top 4.
These are going to be nothing but repeat games
Because that's what happens in every sport. Every sport has repeat games.
But every sport doesn't have every sport does not have 129 teams. That's the problem. Every other sport,
but we're only going by the top 25 matter. You're saying so? None of them matter after 4.
I said 8. I said 8. I said 8.
So you want to expand to 8, but not 12.
Lord Jesus, you even forgot all the weeks we've talked all the trash you've been talking. Now you even forgot what I said. I've been saying 8. I've been saying 8. Take the top 5 of the Power 5 conferences, which I actually have to go back on that because the way ACC doesn't deserve anybody to be in the playoff this year. Not at all. Pac-12, yeah. Big 12 slightly, but I guarantee they're probably going to be up on each other because Oklahoma is not that convincing.
Nope.
So I'm just saying, right now, I mean.
How about Michigan? Where do we stand on Michigan? I mean, Michigan, if I'm looking at the AP top 25 and the coaches poll, Michigan is 9 and 8 respectively after Ohio State at 4-1 and AP has them after Oregon at 4-1. So they're still not getting a lot of love for an undefeated team.
Well, I mean, there's some reason why they're not getting any love because
they have some prove it games coming up then. I mean, I think that they're playing at Nebraska this week. You would think that's a win, but
yeah. See, this is why
stranger things have happened.
This is why, it's because they start off the season with Western Michigan, which beat your number 1 team in the country, and then Washington, which is a shell of their former selves in the Pac-12, Northern Illinois, then Rutgers, and then a Wisconsin team that is a shell of their former selves. So they haven't had that prove-it game yet. And then there's Nebraska, which but Nebraska ain't it either. Then you got Northwestern, they ain't it either. Their first test is in week 8 against Michigan State.
Who's also undefeated.
Yes. That could be huge. Yeah. So yeah, they haven't played those games yet.
Fair enough.
But they're coming up. They are coming up. So they will have they will have their opportunity to prove themselves. They've got those games to prove themselves and make it into the playoff.
And who has the top offense in the country? That is a great trivia question.
All right, and you can ask that during your own time on trivia. Eddie, cool. I mean, you can do nothing.
Your segment. I'm just asking you.
Exactly. No, he's my segment, and that's where I end my segment.
You don't want to tell our listeners who has the best offense?
No, I do not. Not at all. No.
Scottie D, why don't you do it? It's because you're itching. Go ahead and get out your system.
I'm not sure, but I think Pitt's up there pretty high, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I
don't know.
You said they average 588 yards a game or something like that.
Okay, see Eddie, see that's where you going wrong. Now you adding to it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just for the money man Scott Donnelly's enjoyment. Yes, as it sits statistically wise, the Pittsburgh Panthers have the number one.
So Pitt's the answer. Okay, go ahead, Eddie. Cool. Amtrakers. Our college football expert answered the question.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been another edition of the Be Live Top 5. Tune in next week to see another edition of the Be Live Top 5. It is that time of the year. It is October.
Woo!
Leaves are falling from the trees. And guess what? It's time for some good old baseball playoffs. They play 160 plus games to get to this very moment, okay? The divisions have been clinched and the wild card seats have been decided. There's only one thing left to do: play ball. All right. Here at the Sports Bros Podcast, yes, we've been a little football heavy, but you know what? We got to show America's pastime baseball a little bit of love as well, too. We're going to talk about the MLB playoffs and our predictions. All right. With that being said, Scottie D, what's on the mind of Scottie D about this year's playoffs?
Well, one thing that we don't have to worry about in the playoffs this year is another team that's from Pitt. I mean, we ain't got to worry about them Pirates, them Buccos. We ain't got to worry about them being in the playoffs. So since Scottie D, the money man, wants to talk about Pitt so much, we ain't got to worry about the Steelers. We ain't got to worry about the Pirates. We ain't got to worry about what we should be worrying about is Trinity High School, the Hillers, and their girls soccer team. That's what we should be worried about. Yeah, absolutely. Since you don't like soccer that much, I'm gonna tell the athletic director how much you don't like soccer.
Beautiful game. Beautiful game.
So yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Since you want to interrupt stuff so daggone much.
Thank God I do have a fallback plan when it comes to baseball, and that's being a Yankee fan. But I fear that the Yankees are going to fold the tents after one game. They play the Red Sox Tuesday night, and it's their money guy going to the hill, Garrett Cole, against Nathan Eovaldi of the Red Sox, who seems to pitch better in the postseason than he does any other time of year. Eovaldi always seems to be a kind of a question mark through. You don't know what you're going to get through the regular season, but he's always been fantastic postseason wise. So I worry about that game because it's in Boston. And last week, the Yankees went to Boston and swept them up there. And it's hard to expect them to do that yet again, to have to go on the road, especially their DJ LeMay, who's not going to be playing. And Garrett Cole looked terrible his last time out. And the Yankees kind of limped across the finish line. They had a hard time with Tampa Bay this last weekend. Won 1-0 on Sunday. So they did get good pitching overall in that game. But then you look at the National League wild card, and it's the Cardinals and Dodgers. And this is why I hate the one-game playoff, because these teams both deserve better than to lose and go home. Because honestly, I think the Dodgers are really the best team in baseball right now. I really do. And if they win this game, I think they're going to win the World Series again. That's how razor thin this wild card thing makes things, because I think that the Cardinals, they had this set up. They had nothing to play for the last couple days. So they had Adam Wainwright and said, we're going to put him out there on the mound. We're saving him. We don't have to pitch over the weekend. Dodgers have the luxury of having a deep staff, and they have Max Scherzer, and he's going out there, and I don't know if I trust anybody more than him. In fact, I would not. That's the guy I would want out there more than anyone. Wainwright and Scherzer, that's a pitching classic right there on paper. I mean, you would suspect that would be take the under in that kind of game. I think that the Dodgers win this game. They can get all the way through. On the other side, I mean, I've been big on the White Sox all year. I said I kind of think that they are the team that are going to get to the World Series. Then I went to this MLB.com, and they have the thing where you can go through the brackets, pick your teams all the way through. And when I got done, I had Dodgers and Rays, just like last year. So that's what makes it so exciting, is because I can see legitimately all of these teams making a little bit of a run. I mean, the Cardinals are the 5 team. They're the worst team in the playoffs, and they're the hottest team in baseball right now. The Yankees are the 5 team, and they were struggling, and then they got hot until they played the Rays this weekend. And nobody's really talking about Houston. Everyone's still mad at them for the cheating thing. And like I said last week, the Brewers are very dangerous, and the Braves have played well despite having lost people. And that was my World Series pick to start the year. I had the Braves and Yankees as my World Series preseason picks. They're both in it, and I'm kind of picking against. I'm looking Dodgers and Rays again as a World Series from last year. And like I said, that could go all up in smoke after one game if Adam Wainwright can hold the Dodgers bats down. What are you guys thinking as far as baseball predictions go here for this postseason? Are we excited, boys? Are we ready to rock and roll?
Very excited. Very excited.
I'm extremely excited for the very same reasons you don't like this play-in game. One game, everything on the line. The biggest rivalry in baseball, or possibly in the world. Yankees, Red Sox, one game winner takes all. Loser goes home. Are you kidding me? Who's not going to be watching baseball tomorrow night? Are you kidding me? Man, this is everything that we want. Here's the thing. This is game 7. This is game 7 in the series. Two evenly matched teams. Identical.
It's not.
92 and 70.
I understand your analogy. I do. And I understand the excitement, but I actually, to be quite honest with you, I don't have as much of a problem with Boston and Yankees loser goes home as I do with the other side, because I don't think the best team in baseball winning 106 games should be going home if they lose one in a postseason. That's just how I feel.
I can see that just because it fell completely. That's crazy. 106 wins. Right. And you're one game away from elimination.
Right. I don't think that's right.
I got you.
You got
double-edged sword.
That doesn't mean you're not right that this game is, these wild cards are going to be super exciting, super intense. I mean, everything on the line, one shot, and if you lose, you go. I understand. I get that. I just don't. I think you'd have the same drama a day later once one team's up 1-0, and then you lose, you go home. A best of 3 in the first round. Come on.
I can I'll give you that. But see, there's a double-edged sword. Good on the AL side, on the NL side. But here's the thing. Here's the big topic that nobody's really talking about. We call this guy a bum.
A bum.
And he's a bum. And now the Dodgers don't have to worry about this bum in October because Clayton Kershaw is out for the season.
Oh.
And Max Muncy is out for Wednesday's game, most likely, and not sure how many games he's going to miss. So the Dodgers are coming in this game short-handed and with everything on the line.
And the Trevor Bauer situation.
So, man. Ugh. So they've had to deal with a lot just to get to this point. And yes, Scott, it would be very disappointing to see them go home in one game after winning 106 games. I understand. Do we change the format where we get rid of the divisions and just go with the top 5 records and we wouldn't have that issue?
You know what they're going to do next year? They're going to add another wild card, and there's only going to be one team is going to have a bye. The top team.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't like that expansion either. Now, again, if they would shorten the regular season by 4, 5, 6 games and then add a best of 3 for these first round games, I would have less of a problem with it. But again, I don't know why these leagues want to keep expanding in these professional sports. There's enough. There's already enough. The NBA has half the league in. NHL has half the league in.
How do you do this? How in the world do you possibly do this? How do you do this? You literally take one argument for you don't want to expand in professional sports, but you want to expand in college sports.
In college football. I don't want to expand college basketball. College basketball is already playing.
Because again, they have 390 some Division I teams. There's a reason why their process.
That's why for football, because
it should be 8 teams.
There's so many teams.
8 teams.
Give me 12. I'm okay with 8. I'm okay with 8.
Thank you for saying that I'm right. But finally admitting that I'm right. I've been right this. I've been saying 8 this entire time.
I'm okay with 8, but when we started this argument a month and a half ago about the 12, I said
And
I'm
I've been
giving
right.
the 12 too, and you said you don't like the 12. I said 12 is good. Give me 12. I'll take 12.
You'll take what I give you. Anyway.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm making an argument for 8. There is most likely going to be 12, and I'm just going to have to grin and bear it.
Let's go back to baseball. Let's go back to baseball.
I do what I want.
Scottie D, Scottie D, I'm kind of like you, man. I kind of hate the fact that a team won 106 games, and now you got to go into the wild card playoff. It should be like an automatic bid, but I mean, I'm looking at division standings. We got the Giants at 107-55.
That's a lot of wins.
That's a whole bunch of wins. That's a boatload of wins. Then you got the Dodgers at 106-55, and then the Padres, they just folded the tent because at the beginning of the season, I remember at the beginning of the season, we said it's going to be a race between the Padres and the Dodgers, and somehow, some way, Uncle Max's Giants came in and just threw a monkey wrench in everything. So you remember those Giants teams used to be good, like in between 2008 and 2012. Who knows? They might be getting ready to do all that again because they won every even number year or something like that. The Giants won the World Series
10, 12, and 14. Yeah.
Yeah, 10, 12, and 14. And so they might throw a monkey wrench and do something in 2021, man. You never know, man. With baseball, you never know. But it's going to be very exciting. Go ahead, be live.
What I need Uncle Max's basketball team and his hockey team because he's 3 for 3 right now with his team. Like his Alabama Crimson Tide, number 1 in the nation. His Giants, number 1 in all of Major League Baseball. His Green Bay Packers are trending in the right direction. Still trying to figure out how all those 3 Green Bay, San Francisco, and Alabama. Okay, he is geographically challenged, but it's okay. But he said his teams are doing great. I need a reason to pick on him, but one of his teams has to be bad somewhere. But that's neither here nor there. Either way, Braves over Brewers. I say
okay.
Braves over Brewers. I say that the Cardinals beat the Dodgers and lose to the Giants. So Braves, Giants, and the NLCS. American League. Red Sox beat the Yankees. And then they lose to the Rays. And I say that the White Sox, that nobody's talking about, beats the Houston Astros and makes everybody in the world happy. So you have the Rays versus White Sox in the ALCS.
Okay, we're together on that one.
And I'm going to put the Rays versus the Giants in the World Series. Yes. I want to say the Braves so bad, but man, it's pitching makes the world go round, and I just think that the Giants just have that firepower. I think the Dodgers should just, after losing a Muncy, is going to hurt the Dodgers.
Yeah, but they're deep. They're so deep. That's why at the deadline they go get a Trey Turner and Scherzer, Walker, Buehler, Price. I mean, they're loaded with pitchers too. They're not hurting for pitching either. But again, they may not be there. You might be right. The Cardinals with Wainwright might have enough to beat them. And that's why I like the White Sox so much, because their pitching, their bullpen is very stellar, and they've got some hard hitting bats in their line. They got some home run power in there too. Eddie, cool. What do you say? What do you like?
All right, let's see. I'm over here looking at the wild card standings in the American League. Let's see, Yankees, Red Sox. I think Yankees eke one out.
Whoa, let's go Yanks.
Yep, the Yankees. Yankees eke one out. And then here's the classic case of, you remember that time the Giants got hot and went to Super Bowl and won it. The Cardinals, I won't be surprised if they pull one off against the Dodgers, because the Cardinals have just been hot. They come out of nowhere. So we have that. And to go, let's see. And then after that, we have the Brewers and the Braves. And with Be Live, it's going to be the Braves. And then, let me see, the Giants.
I think you guys are going to be disappointed in that one.
You
with the Brewers and Braves.
Yeah, I like the Brewers a lot. I think they're going to get to the championship. I don't think they'll advance past either the Dodgers or the Giants or the Cardinals. Actually, I don't think they'll be. Actually, you know what? Their division, they know their division. If they would come to them in the Cardinals, I could see it. I don't think they'll get by either of those National League West teams though.
Yeah. So in the
NFC, I think the Braves bats are too hot. I don't know.
In the NLCS, let's see. I got the Braves. And I got the Giants, if that's possible. Yeah, the Braves and the Giants. And over in the American League, as much as they cheat, they've been laying under the radar all year long.
They have.
They've been being real quiet. They've been staying out the way and playing solid, sound baseball. So
they got a lot of bats and a lot of experience in that lineup too.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the experience. I think the experience outweighs, what the White Sox have. So I think in the championship series, we got.
I hope you're wrong. I really want to see the White Sox beat the Astros. I really do.
From the looks of it, it's going to be the Rays and the freaking Rays and the freaking Astros, and in the World Series.
I think it was the Rays and Astros last year, right? Didn't the Astros? Wasn't that who the Rays had to beat to get to the World Series last year?
Yep.
I believe it was.
Yep. And so I'm going to have to say, but I think the Rays get them, though. I think the Rays get them. And I think it's going to be in the World Series. I'm picking the Rays and the Giants and 5.
All right. There we go.
Yep, Giants and 5, because like I said, because a lot of times when you got a team that came out of nowhere like they did, because like I said, when we were talking about baseball in the early portion of the season, we said the NL West is going to be between San Diego and LA, and then somehow, some way, the Giants was like, wait a minute, we got something to say too. So we shall see.
Isn't there something about the Giants in odd years?
Even years.
It's even years?
Yeah, we just had
10, 12, 12 and 14 they won it. So
okay, gotcha.
So
I was thinking of the Spurs, San Antonio Spurs. They were the ones that won all those odd years.
Yeah, every other year.
But all right. I knew it was something. I knew those.
Yep. All right. And that about does it for playoffs. Talk about the playoffs.
Let's go Yankees.
Yep.
Let's go Yankees.
And speaking of baseball, fellas, guess what time it is?
What time is it? Well, let's see.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It is time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices, which damn near got sabotaged thanks to Facebook. But we back, baby. We back. With that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it. Boom.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
That's right. You heard the woman. She ain't got no lie, right, or reason to lie. And once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You heard the woman. It is the 126th edition of the Choices of the Voices. You see what I did there, Scott? I tried to do my best Jim Nance impersonation there.
Very well done.
Jim Nance impersonation. Speaking of Jim Nance, I will say that him and Tony Romo, they are my favorite commentary team to listen to football. For me, I'm a big time Kevin Harlan guy, but after hearing Uncle Jim and Cousin Tony, they sound pretty good, man. They sound pretty good. All right, enough of me talking about football and announcers and stuff like that. Scottie D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
I asked, what pitcher would you choose to start a wild card game or series deciding game as we approach baseball? You can pick any active pitcher. Eddie Cool, what did the people say to us?
All right. Gotcha. And the voices said, and leading off with Rodney Bellamy. He said, I don't know a lot about current baseball, but I'll go with Sixto Sanchez down in Miami just because that's a badass name.
Yeah, I don't really even know what to say about that answer.
Spoiler alert. Who the hell is Sixto Sanchez?
I know Hot Rod is a Miami Dolphins fan. I didn't think he was a Miami Marlins fan, but maybe that I don't.
It sounds like something from a movie. This can't be real life. Rodney, let us know something, and we got to do our research department. Be live. All right, here we go. So moving right along, we got Terrible Pete Talansky. He's back. He's back. It's Terrible Pete. He says, I think I would have to go with Jacob deGrom when he is healthy. The man is untouchable. All right. I got to see him pitch live this year on my trip to sunny San Diego. He is unbelievable. Arguably the best pitcher I've ever seen. So Terrible Pete says Jacob deGrom.
He was the best pitcher in baseball this year. No question about it.
Just on a bad team.
And he got hurt.
They did him no favors. None whatsoever. Moving right along, we got Joey Buckets, Joe Gaffkin. He says Max Scherzer all day. Mad Max.
And the Dodgers felt the same way because he's going out there Wednesday evening. He's going out there.
On the mound. Let's go, Mad Max. All right, Damon Benko said Paul Ossenmacher. I thought it was a joke, but I was like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke. Okay.
Yeah, he was a reliever for the Indians in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I think. He might have been on that World Series team of at 97 of the Cleveland Indians.
So not even current. Just wrong.
Right.
Not current, wrong. Penalty box. All right. Cool.
Damon is a Bucco fan as well, so he's obviously not following baseball too tightly at this point. Because why would you?
So he's a joke just like you. All right. Cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I said what I said.
He's poking the bear.
Yeah. Oh, you think the bear won't poke back? You know what I'm saying?
One of my friends was, speaking of bears, one of my friends was on a trip in the mountains, and they had a cabin. And guess who they had they had a visitor. They had a baby black bear. I think he was a second-year cub or 2-year-old cub. 2, 3, 4, 5. A big bear is a big old bear. And I'm not trying to no, because where there's a baby bear, there's a big old mama bear lurking around somewhere.
Right. Factuals.
Right. Yes.
That's why camping sucks. One of many reasons.
Yep. All right, moving right along. We got Matty Ice, Martin Tracy. He said, Otani Shohei. Of course, because he gets to hit for himself and because the dudes in the locker room getting treated come back out to watch history when Otani pitches or hits.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick, Shohei Otani. Because he's been stellar pitching and hitting all year long. So, but he's thinking double duty here. He can, if he starts, you get both the full package of it. So, interesting choice there for Matty Ice.
But the Angels they somehow, some way are allergic.
They can't win. They can't win
to contending to the playoffs. Like
they can't win.
They won the World Series one time in
2002, and they can't win.
Like, they arguably have two of the best players in all of baseball on the same team, and can't make.
They can't win.
Mike Trout still on the team, right? Let me make sure.
Yeah, but he hasn't played since May. He's been injured since May.
I knew I hadn't heard from him in a while, but he's still that dude. He's just hurt, man.
I'm just hoping that Mike Trout is not one of many players to never win a championship.
He's headed that way, but again, he's one of those guys eventually could get sick of that and say, trade me to a contender. So
yeah. So getting back to the choice of the voice short, here's the thing about loyalty in sports. It's good, but if you want to win championships, it's kind of like, why am I here? And I understand, like, you develop a relationship with the organization and the community, like out there in LA, like Anaheim, like I'm pretty sure Mike Trout is the man out there. He doesn't have to pay for anything to eat, drink, or nothing like that. Nothing.
He better with that contract.
But
I'll charge him double.
What you get? What I'm saying,
you got it.
Hey, you think
$426.5 million over 12 years? Yeah, you got to pay double, player, and you better be tipping 100%. I said what I said.
Hey, the thing about California is they go upside your head when it comes to taxes. But it's just sad to see a guy like him who I don't want to never say never, but the way it's looking like, Angels do better. All right. Speaking of doing better, we got Trey Dizzle. All right. And Trey Dizzle said, baseball is an absolute most boring sport in the history of mankind. I would rather watch Dak Prescott counting his 160
million
160 million with 127 million guaranteed. Yes, sir.
$1 bill at a time than to watch an average looking fat guy throw a ball at another guy with a stick for 4 hours and they score one time. Ladies and gentlemen, Trey Dizzle.
The gift that keeps on giving. He hasn't watched baseball in quite some time because these dudes are in shape. By the way, there's very few that are a little chunky. I want to say, what's my one dude? Is it Sandoval? Is he still in the league?
Yeah, the Panda Bear. Yeah, he was on the Braves for a little bit. Be live.
Yeah. Yep. And G-Man Choi.
Yep. Him
for the Rays.
And then my guy Bartolo Colon when he was playing. Yeah, he needed a respirator around in second base when he hit that home run. Oh, look at old big boy go. The power is in the Buddha belly. The power is in the Buddha belly. All right. So shout out to Rodney, Terrible Pete, Joey Buckets, Damon Benko, Trey Dizzle, and Matty Ice for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scotty, 1-game situation, on the mound, playoffs, everything on the line. Who you got?
I would like to say Garrett Cole, but I don't trust him. But we'll find out on Tuesday night. But my pick is Max Scherzer also, and just because he's been there before, he's been in the big games before, he's won championships before, and he's other than Justin Verlander, I think he's probably been the best pitcher the last 20 years, 25 years, maybe even. Hard to argue with Justin Verlander because he was the best thing going there for a while. And Clayton Kershaw was a perennial postseason choker. Now, I hate saying that, but he kind of was.
He's a bum, Rocky. He's a bum.
He's a bum.
Max Scherzer's my guy. B-Live, who you got?
Man, my answer already been said. There's just no getting around it because you're asking for one game. You're not asking for longevity. You're not asking for somebody that might be a little bit of injury prone. You're not asking for somebody that has terrible run support. You're asking for one guy that could pitch lights out and put your team in the best position to win a game. And there's nobody but Jacob deGrom. The dude played in 11 games this year and he allowed 1 run every 9 innings he pitched. 1.08 ERA.
He was sick this year.
Ridiculous. In most cases, you are 11-0 as a pitcher if you do that. But you're playing for the Mets that can't score. They didn't score during senior prom. They ain't scoring now. And everybody scores at senior prom. Come on, Mets. Do better. Jacob deGrom has to be the pitcher that I'm choosing. Winner take all? Yes, sir. Eddie Cool, talk to us.
I'm going to have to say Jacob deGrom, man, because he was on fire all 11 games, and the stats B-Lab just mentioned. The only problem is he played for the New York Mets. I know I'm going to get heat for my comments about the Steelers and the Mets, but it is what it is. Until you show me better, it's going to be what it's going to be. So I'm going to have to roll with Jacob deGrom, man. Yeah, he was on fire the early portion of the season. I think he was like the clear-cut choice for the Cy Young winner in the National League, but, things happen and we shall see. But, yeah, Scottie D, Mad Max, the man with 2 different color pupils. Me and B-Live roll with Jacob deGrom. And so, yeah.
And I will say this. I'll say this, too. If I would have answered this question probably 2 years ago, I would say Madison Bumgarner. Because he's my pick of, like, historically, who would I take? Just right now, in this stage of his career, I don't know these. I would trust him out there quite as much as I would go with Max Scherzer. But Madison Bumgarner is one of the greatest postseason pitchers of all time. I mean, he was on all 3 of those Giants teams we were talking about in 10, 12, 14, and was the ace. And it's crazy to me when I was watching him pitch Bumgarner in those World Series. I was like, how's anybody ever get a hit off this guy all summer long? but he just goes to another level of focus and whenever he gets to the postseason. But we'll see. I tell you what, Adam Wainwright is not a bad choice either. So Wainwright against Scherzer is going to be a very, very interesting matchup. So
no love for Garrett Cole, their guy.
He's been too erratic lately. I hope so. I mean, I hope next week we're saying, man, did he pitch a lights out gem last Tuesday night and the Yankees are still rolling. But I don't know. He just, he had a chance to really seize the moment for the Yankees last week and didn't get the job done against Toronto. I think it was Toronto.
I'm just looking this up. And Scottie D, you're our baseball expert. Did the Nationals trade both Trey Turner and Matt Scherzer to the Dodgers this year?
Yeah.
Had to be high. Had to be high. Is marijuana legal in the nation's capital? Wait, what are you doing? I
was just looking at a quick. I'm like, wait a minute. Trey Turner, all he did was lead the league in batting average.
Yeah.
And now, with Scherzer with the Dodgers, that puts the Dodgers having 3 of the top 5 winningest pitchers on the same team. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild. Here's the World Series, guys. Merry Christmas. Here you go. We're just gonna gift. Gift.
So the Dodgers said they're in the win now status.
Oh yeah,
they want it. So,
and this was their first time in 8 years that they haven't. I think they won the division 8 straight years. Yeah, this is the first time that they haven't won their division, and they win 106 games. I mean, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah.
106 games, right? They won, and
the Giants won 107.
Yeah, one more. Congratulations! Your consolation prize, a wild card.
The Dodgers are the second best team in all of Major League Baseball, and they're playing in a 1-game winner take all.
If you think about it, man, you got to chalk it up to the competition, like. That this is unheard of. Is this like historically like the first time that's ever happened? We got a 100-win team in the wild card, because I don't remember hearing anything about this. This has to be a first.
I mean, the wild card only goes back to I think 2012. I want to say 11 and 12, something like that.
Oh, really?
Oh no. I'm sorry.
No.
Expanded. The wild card goes back to the fifth one does. Yeah. The wild card, they started doing that in the 90s.
94,
but
something like that. Anyway, yeah.
Somewhere in there, because I know the Marlins won it in 96 or 97 as a wild card. I don't know that any other team has won 100 games and been a wild card. I can't say that for sure. I know that a few years ago, the Pirates won 98 and they were a wild card. And
thank you, Google. There's been 3 teams.
Okay. That have won 100?
Yep, and as wild cards. The 2001 Oakland Athletics.
Oh, that is right. Yep, them.
The 2018 your boys, New York Yankees. And this year, 2021 Los Angeles Dodgers. Yep.
So that 2001 A's team, that was that team won 100 games. I think that was the year that Seattle won like 112 or something ridiculous like that.
They won 549 games
in the playoffs.
Yeah, they won like 549 games.
And I think that was the Moneyball year too, where Oakland got hot in the middle of the season and won like. Throwing that off the top of my head, don't know that for sure.
Got you.
Anyway, baseball playoff time, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's year they won like 549 games. Crazy. All right, shout out to everybody who participated in this week's Choices of the Voices. And with that being said, Money Man, what's on tap for next week?
All right, so next week I'm going to ask you, what NFL team do you think has the biggest home field advantage? The toughest place for an opponent to go in and get a W. And that will give us something to talk about next week there, Eddy. Cool.
Yep, that will give us something to talk about next week on the Choices of the Voices. Thanks for coming through, listening, and participating. See you next week for another edition of the Choices of the Voices.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
That's right. You heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get the hell all the way up out of here. But before we go, we got to hit you with a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. Here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. All right. And I'll go first. I'll be doing the history facts once again, and I'll go first. All right. On this day in history, back in 2001, the Atlanta Braves become the first professional sports team to win 10 straight division titles after mauling the Florida Marlins 20-3 to clinch the NL East title. All right. The only team that were able to do that, well, actually before that, the record was 9, which was held by the Boston Celtics, who won 9 straight division titles from 57 through 65, and the LA Lakers from 82 to 1990, who won 9 in a row. And before we got on this, I said, you know what? The Braves are pretty good back then. So let me give you a who's was on that roster. All right, you ready? The 2001 Atlanta Braves. In the pitching staff, you had Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, Kevin Millwood, Jason Marquis, Odalis Perez, Mike Remlinger, John Rocker, he was still around, John Smoltz, Scott Sokobiak, and Tim Spooneybarger. All right. The catcher, you had Javi Lopez and Paul Bacco. The infielders, you had Kirk Abbott, Rico Bronya, Ken Caminiti, Julio Franco, who was like 145 at that time. You also had Rafael Furcal, Wes Helms, Chipper Jones, Keith Lockhart, Cuvillo Veras, Ray Sanchez, and in the outfielder, you had Brian Jordan, BJ Surhoff, Dave Martinez, and Andrew Jones, and Bernard Gilkey. Can't forget about Bernard Gilkey. So, yeah, that was a who's who of that 2001 Atlanta Braves division clinching, winning, beating of the Marlins team. All right. That being said, over to you, Scottie D.
All right. So earlier Monday, we had a fight signed up coming in the UFC where Dustin Poirier will challenge Charles Oliveira for the lightweight championship. Poirier, last we saw, was in the cage yelling at Conor McGregor after he snapped his ankle in half. And Oliveira, last we saw, won the championship by defeating Michael Chandler. Oliveira's on he's red hot. He's been rolling, and Poirier chose not to fight for the title in favor of the money fight with McGregor. So this is the next rightful fight that we should see. And I'm very excited for this one. That will take place in December. So circle that one, guys. That is an exciting fight to look forward to. Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. Be live, over to you.
All right. A little pepper time. I get excited around this time, but I'm going to switch it up for you on this week because you know what? We've taken the time to feature what has come before us. But now when it comes to college football, I want to feature what is ahead of us. So this week will be, and moving forward, will be 3 games coming up this coming week that are playoff games to watch. The first one, is clear, crystal clear. And it's the Red River Showdown. None other than the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Texas Hook'em Horns. Why is this a playoff game this year? Oklahoma's ranked 6th. They're on the outside looking in. Texas is ranked 20th. They're not going to make it. But Oklahoma needs to make a statement win right here and right now to still be considered to be in the playoff. Right now, they're not in B Live's top 5. They're not in anybody's top 5. But can they make that statement win to move up into the top 5? I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But playoff game number 1 going into week 6 of college football, the Red River Showdown, Texas versus Oklahoma. Eddy Cool, the ball.
And I'm catching another football. Oh, just like that. Kind of like AJ Green. He caught that one right there, the bread basket. All right. Once again, so this day in history back in 1982. It's funny I say that. The first regular season NHL game is played in New Jersey, Newark to be exact, as the Devils play to a 3-3 tie against the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Brendan Byrne Arena. All right. Don Lever scores the first goal in the history of the New Jersey Devils. Now, I did some more research, and Don Lever was the team captain. A few notable and not so notable names. Let's see, you had Aaron Broughton, who led the team in scoring that year. And then you also had a gentleman by the name of Joel Quenneville, who's a coach. Am I right, Scottie D? Yes, Joel Quenneville. Sure. Yep, sure. Joel Quenneville, cut it out. Joel Quenneville was a coach, and also Pat Verbeek was also there too. And in their inaugural season, they finished 5th in the Patrick Division with a record of 17 wins, 49 losses, 14 ties, and a whopping 48 points. My, how far the Devils have come since 1982. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, so while I might be waiting till December to see Dustin Poirier fight Charles Oliveira, I'm only waiting a couple more days to see Tyson Fury fight Deontay Wilder for the 3rd time. If you remember the December 2018, they fought to a draw. Wilder dropped Fury, and everyone thought it was a KO. And then, like the Undertaker of the WWE, he sat right up and finished that fight off. Only 14 months later to come back and KO Wilder in the 7th round of their, which was actually like the last big fight before COVID hit in February of 2020. They were supposed to fight in July, and Fury got COVID, so now they have rescheduled that fight, and it's going to happen this weekend. I'm very much looking forward to this. I have a feeling that Deontay Wilder will not be wearing like 200 pounds of armor as he walks to the ring, because he said that was a big factor in him not having his legs in the last fight, and Fury just dominated him, picked him apart. I kind of think this one's going to go the distance, and I'm going to take Fury in the rematch. I think he's got enough smarts to stay away from that lethal right hook of Wilder, but you never know. One shot by him, and it's night time. Anyway, I'm taking Tyson Fury to win a decision on Saturday night. Be Live, over to you.
All right, man. I'm excited for that fight. Finally, pure boxing match, not these celebrity mashups that we got going on. If I hear another Paul brother, man, I might go viral. Just anyway, let's put it this way. Game number 2 of college football playoff games coming up this week. And this is yet another rivalry, aptly named the Deep South's oldest rivalry. And this is a contest between the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Auburn Tigers, War Eagle, whichever mascot they want to choose this day and age. They got 50 of them. Anyway, this is a playoff game for every reason it could be. Georgia is going on the road. This could be their first true road test. Auburn is known throughout the years just to spoil teams' chances. I'm just saying they just have a way of spoiling it. This is the ultimate spoiler alert. It could happen. Georgia really is just that good. There's a separation between them and all the other teams. But any given Saturday, it could happen. What happens if Georgia loses this game? It will be absolute pandemonium when it comes to the college football playoff race. And that's why playoff games go every week in college football, and why college football is better. Eddy Cool, the ball.
Eddy Cole, did you happen to get the score to the Coastal UL Monroe game this past week? Because I
got that. And if you sit right here on this show and dare try to downplay my shot to Cliff, I don't care who you was talking to. I was talking you right now. You won't listen to me. If you will sit here right now on this show,
I had Coastal given 52.5. I just wonder if
yeah. And here's the thing, sir. Look at me. Pay attention. Right here. I want you eyeball to eyeball. I will see you in 18 days. I want you to have the same energy when we're in the same room. You was very bold over the Zoom.
There it is. It's 59-6. Yeah, okay.
Don't feed into this mess right here.
Listen, you're talking in Eddie. It's Eddie's time to talk.
Our show is based in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, by way of the Grand Strand. I went to school at Coastal Carolina. CCU, keep doing what you do. Pay no attention to this charlatan, this skeptic. How dare him?
Scottie D,
Teal Nation. Chanticleer, stand up.
Scottie D, you from Charlotte? I thought you was from Washington, Pennsylvania.
I am. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not from Charlotte.
All right, so third
Eddy,
and
cool.
final.
Eddie, cool. I swear for the Lord.
I had to. It was right there. I'm like, Charlotte, run in there. All right, so here we go. I want to give a birthday shout out, happy birthday shout out to Tree. Count them Tree. I try to normal it down to one and give you the stats, but I'm gonna give you 3 of them. All right. Happy birthday goes to Coach Barry Switzer. Yes, Barry Switzer, the
Super Bowl.
Yes,
Super Bowl winner.
Yep, Super Bowl winning Barry Switzer, head coach, and also coach at the Oklahoma University. Mario Lemieux of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's a 3-time NHL MVP and Canadian Hockey Hall of Famer. And
Cup winner.
Yes. And Patrick Waugh. Patrick Waugh was a 4-time Stanley Cup champion and a 3-time Vezina Trophy winner. And also, happy birthday to Grant Hill, one of the best to ever do it. I've always wondered if Grant Hill he never got hurt.
Yeah.
He never got hurt. One of the biggest what ifs in sports has to be Grant Hill. All right, Scottie D, over to you.
All right, I just on my last pepper, I just want to give a shout out to my alma mater, Division II California University of Pennsylvania. The Vulcans are 5-0 right now. I went down to watch them play in a homecoming game this past weekend. They whooped Mercyhurst to go to 5-0. When I was going to school there, they would win about 2 games a year. So this is very refreshing and exciting to see my team finally doing something again. It's only Division II, but the pageantry of college football, it's a whole other level. It's a whole other thing. But head coach Gary Dunn, actually, I was going to school with him back there at the time. I'm really excited for him and the success that Cal is having. They still got some tough games coming up ahead on the schedule. IUP, Slippery Rock, Shippensburg, all those guys. But 5-0, baby. You gotta love the Vulcans. Congratulations, Cal U. Here we go. Be live. Over to you.
I want to say this. I might need a fact check real quick, but I believe my band director in high school just received her master's degree from California University of Pennsylvania. Dawn Mason. I might have to fact check that again. And when you mentioned that remind me that I need to look back at that. So congratulations to her receiving her master's degree with that. And let me get back on track real quick. With my 3rd college football playoff game coming up this week. We've already talked about it. And so there really isn't too much more to say when it comes to Iowa, the Hawkeyes versus the Penn State Nittany Lions. There's one last thing to say about this game. I lied. There's nothing else to be said about this game because I'm going somewhere else with this. Urban Meyer, what the hell are you doing? Urban Meyer, I want you right here with this. No. You, how dare you? 0-4, you're ruining my quarterback's future in the NFL. You're not doing your job. And then on top of that, you want to stay in the state of Ohio, and then you want to go visit and hang out and chill with your grandchildren. That ain't your grandchild that's in that video, sir. And where's your hands at? Where's your hands at in the video? What are you doing? Why is you on this girl's backside? That is not your wife, sir. No, you will not get away with this at all. Scottie D, thank you so much because, penalty box, permanent penalty box. You're right there with Robert Kraft. You're nasty. Go home, kiss your wife. Kiss your wife. Why is you out? And no. This ain't nothing that you just, this was innocent. She does. No. You're nasty. We don't see where your hands are at, sir. Urban Meyer, fired. Penalty box. Please give me an interim head coach. Do something. Do not. You will not. No. I will not stand for it whatsoever. Urban Meyer, what are you doing, bro? Come on.
They need to hire Dabo.
No. There's only been one somewhat successful college coach that did well in the NFL, and that's Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll's phone.
Have you forgotten a Hall of Fame Jimmy Johnson? Go ahead. Carry on.
Okay, but okay. Sorry. You know
Barry Switzer, birthday boy, Super Bowl winner.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Is the show over yet? Are we getting the show?
No. You brought this up anyway. Like I said, either way. But let me go back to where I was at. Urban Meyer.
Oh God, that's your finger, Scott.
Permanent penalty box. I cannot believe you've already caused enough controversy between. I've never seen so much controversy between one NFL coach in my life. You are making Adam Gase look halfway decent with some of his decision making. Matt Nagy redeemed himself this week with a victory. Urban Meyer, not only did you squander a lead, then you thought it was a good idea to be seen in public with a woman half your age.
You're nasty.
In your hands where they're not supposed to be. Like it would have been something else if you'd have been like, no. She backed it up. You just a little bit back up off me. I got a whole wife at home.
Hey,
I got children. I got grandchildren. I got a career. I can't be seen out here doing this. We lost. I understand you want to get something to eat after the game. Want to have a couple drinks. Yeah, sure, get it. We're all human. But you have an entire wife. You have an entire family. And you have an entire responsibility, a public responsibility for you not to be doing this. Urban Meyer get nasty. And permanent penalty box. This is not going away. I will not allow this to go away.
So we have a revamped tag team. Are Robert Kraft and Urban Meyer the new Nasty Boys?
Yeah, without question. Robert Kraft, never, not never. I don't care how many cars rappers buy you.
And in closing,
ladies and gentlemen, be live on the soapbox. All right, justifiably so. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you.
You brought it up.
It was a good, and you knew he was going to dive in, Scottie. You know he got to dive in when it comes to that. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. We greatly appreciate everybody that's been listening from episode 1 on to 126 and everybody in between and in the middle. Thank you. We love you now more than ever. And in closing, I'll get it right this week. Do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast.
And I think to myself,
no, don't you
what
ever
a wonderful world.
Shut your mouth. We will never be the anything.
And I think to
even though Clemson
myself,
is not ranked anymore, all roads still lead to Dabo. I said what I said. It is what it is.
Wonderful world.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for listening. See y'all next week. You know, man.